Hi, I'm Nick Thorne from the NosyGenealogist.com. So, what is the biggest family history problem for most of us that are researching our British ancestors? Well, I put up a survey online to find out what major brick walls people had with their British Isles ancestors. And the largest cry by all that came back to me was the following: help me with my family tree research, especially back before 1837. Now, perhaps this resonates with you. Maybe you've traced your forebears back in the census collection. You've used the birth, marriages and deaths on the web and found that the nice and easy indexes only go back as far as 1837. You see, it was in 1837 that the General Register Office was set up for England and Wales, and it took over the registration of vital records from the Church of England. In Scotland, on the other hand, it was in 1855 that the General Register Office for Scotland took the same powers from the Church of Scotland. So from those years backwards, we all have to use the records kept by the state church in both jurisdictions, and that are known as parish records. Baptismal registers will normally give you the name of the child and that of its father, plus the date of the christening. Occasionally you may see the mother's name, most particularly if the child was illegitimate. In this case you could see the terms base-born, or bastard, or natural born on the record. Sometimes the godparents or witnesses may also appear on the registers, and this all goes to show how there was no standard format for baptismal registers until 1812, when Rose's Act became law in England and Wales, and standardised information had to be recorded on specially printed registers in the churches. But you have to realise, though, that the Rose's Act didn't apply to Scotland or Ireland, and these new standardised registers asked for more detail than before, and so now the clergy were in a position where they had to obtain the mother's Christian name and the father's occupation and his abode. Churches kept the parish registers locally. They were not collated or sent to a central depository, but were retained by the churches themselves. And from the 16th century up until 1837, the parish church carried the responsibility of collecting records of its parishioners, while baptism was more important to the church than the actual birth date, and burials were noted as opposed to death. And the church was essentially, in doing this, an arm of local government. Now, a strong lockable box known as the Parish Chest, into which they deposited all their records, were usually found in most churches. We refer to all the records that may now be found deposited in a county record office, but were once in the keeping of the parish church, as parish chest documents. They don't just include the well-known parish registers of baptisms, marriages and burials of our forebears, but you'll also find there all sorts of other records. And in England and Wales you've got the vestry meetings, while up in Scotland you'll have the kirk sessions. And there are also odd records such as the report of the parish surveyor. Now, many of you may not have even heard of such records, and you may just be missing out on something that contains your ancestor's name. Of course, if you're restricting your searching to online environments, you're likely to be very frustrated because there's just no way to locate them. In most cases, you're going to have to visit the county record office to get to see microfiche copies of especially the English and Welsh records, as they're not online. For baptisms, marriages and burials, you could go to your local Latter-day Saints centre and order the films from them. Scotland, on the other hand, their old parish registers can be accessed at Scotland's People website for a small fee. Oh, that we had the same facility south of the border. Okay, now I realise that there are a lot of people who'd like more help to get back before 1837, and so I've created an audio product which is going to be available from my website, thenosygenealogist.com. I'm Nick Thorne, thank you for watching.